In our Sunrise Smart Start on this Friday, a house heavily damaged by fire in Rochester.
Firefighters responded to Lakeview Park around 2 a.m. No word on any injuries. The cause of the fire still under investigation. Greece police say no suspects are in custody after a shooting outside a Walmart. Officers responded to Dewey Avenue last night around 7:30. They say two men were having a dispute inside the store, then took that argument outside. Police say shots were fired, but no one was struck.
Officers from the Greece Police Department, the Rochester Police Department, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, and the New York State Police responded and worked with store employees and store security to evacuate the store and ensure the safety of all the customers and employees.
Police believe this was an isolated incident. If you have any information, you're asked to call 911.
Buffalo police making an arrest after a stabbing and shooting outside of a high school.
A 17-year-old in custody for the stabbing of a 14-year-old student Wednesday. No word if that unidentified suspect is also responsible for shooting a 27-year-old security guard at the school. Both victims in the incident are expected to recover.
An arrest has been made after a string of robberies in Rochester. Police say 30-year-old Marquis Correa Santos is being charged in connection with 7 different incidents over the last month. All incidents have involved a weapon and one involved a stolen car. Correa Santos is charged with multiple counts of robbery and grand larceny. He was arraigned yesterday morning in Rochester City Court.
Rochester police identifying the victim of that fatal shooting on Portland and Clifford Avenues Wednesday. They responded around 2:30 in the morning to find 24-year-old Kenneth Hightower stabbed and shot. He later died at the hospital. Investigators believe Hightower and a suspect were arguing. No arrests have been made. If you have information about this fatal shooting, you're asked to call 911. We've got an update this morning on a News 8 investigation involving high RG&E bills for some customers in the community.
Some residents saw their monthly bill climb close to or over $1,000. We're now learning a mistake might have been made by energy supplier Source Power that says these customers were getting unnecessary credits over time. The company issuing a statement saying, quote, if customers review their bills, they will see that they're still saving money month to month. We're working with RG&E to resolve this and appreciate patience while we do. Source Power went on to say it's happy to work with customers on payment plans.
We'll certainly continue to follow that. No better solar source than the sun there, James Gilbert.
Yes.
Not sure we're going to get a lot of that on this Friday, even with a bump in temperatures.
Yes. We'll start off with some sun. We'll finish, though, cloudy, certainly, as temperatures really cruise right along into the upper 40s. I bet some spots could make a run at 50 degrees. I'll just say it now before it happens so I don't get caught off guard later today when we see that number. So it'll be nice to certainly melt some of that snowpack there as well. We'll have a bus stop forecast and the last check of the 8-day, the weekend check, coming up at the end of the show. Mark.
All right, James, thank you. Another check of the roads shows a good start on this Friday morning. As we've been talking about for the last 45 minutes or so, no accidents to pass along. A live view of 390. Looking good there as volume builds in. 490, 590 up to speed as well.
All right, well, we all know Valentine's Day just a few days away, and some of us may be considering celebrating without alcohol.
2 local business owners offering that opportunity with a sober bar experience. Erica Cost is live this morning with more on this. Erica, good morning.
Good morning, Mark. And one of those business owners joined with me right now. Meg Hartman co-owns Alt Bar, a new pop-up sober bar experience. Talk about what this drink is right here.
Yeah, so this drink is called the Snow Day Sunset. Sorry, it's the same thing in my opinion. But this was our bestseller at our last pop-up event, and this has the Naughty Sparkling Chardonnay, the Ritual Gin, so you get the notes of juniper in it, and Blood Orange, which is seasonal. So one of the great things about our drinks is that we make sure that all of them are seasonal, and we use what's available. So you won't be able to get this all the time.
Absolutely. And I do want to ask you, you've been saying people don't have to be sober to enjoy this. Kind of talk more about that.
Yeah, so, one of the great things about this is that my husband is sober. He's been sober for over 2 years. I'm not sober, but I use these non-alcoholic options to cut back on my alcohol intake, and it really helps me to switch out the ritual of like a glass of wine after work with something that is much less damaging and doesn't have all of the side effects.
Absolutely, and again, they are a pop-up bar. You're looking to grow, but for now, where can people find where you're going to be next?
So tomorrow night, you can find us at Capucha. We will be there from 7 to 9, and then after that, you can find us on Instagram at altbarrock and our website, altbarrock.com, and we'll be posting upcoming events there.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it. Such a fun morning. And on that, I'll give you a cheers and send it back to you in the studio.
Good stuff this morning, Erica. Cheers to you as well. As they mentioned, find them on Instagram under the username altbarrock. Let's get the latest on COVID-19 now. With the mask mandate for businesses no longer in effect in New York, local leaders are reminding people to limit the spread of COVID.
County Health Commissioner Dr. Michael Mendoza says while the number of new cases is on the decline, hospitalizations and ICU admissions in our region are still high. Health officials are also reminding residents that masks must be worn in all schools, healthcare facilities, prisons, and on all forms of public transportation statewide.
First, let's remind ourselves of what we know. COVID is still here, and it will be for a while. This doesn't mean that we live in fear, but rather that we must continue to base our individual and collective decisions on facts, science, and our own assessment of risk to ourselves, our families, and our community.
There are still hundreds of new daily cases and still too many people who are hospitalized with COVID. Remember, more than 1,700 residents of our county have died from this virus since the pandemic began. We're now in the common sense phase of controlling COVID.
Emergency.
Governor Kathy Hochul says she will revisit masking in schools after the February break.
Some local nursing homes say testing all visitors has put a strain on resources. The decision was made last month amid the post-holiday COVID surge. One person we spoke with says the nursing home she visits is running out of COVID tests, and visitors are being asked to get tested elsewhere before they arrive.
And at first, I had no issue with that because the nursing home where my dad lives has been providing testing right along. However, once they realized that they were going to have to test everyone, 100% of the visitors every 24 hours, they realized they did not have a sufficient quantity of tests.
Well, the Monroe County Health Department issuing the following statement: visitors cannot be denied entry because a nursing home does not make tests available. Nursing homes have received more than 4.2 million tests in total, spread across 3 separate direct shipments.
Turning now to Washington, the Biden administration facing mounting pressure from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle over rising inflation rates.
Congressional leaders say more must be done as prices of everything from gas to groceries rise. New research shows inflation increased 7.5% in January, the highest since 1982. Republicans say Democratic policies are to blame.
As a Pew report demonstrated late last year, it's true. Countries around the world are facing inflation. They are, as a result of COVID. But America has it worse than almost everybody else in the developed world. This is a direct result of liberal policy choices.
Well, the White House says it is still working to resolve global supply chain issues, something the president believes is the driving force behind these higher prices.
Time now for the GRE Morning Business Report. Fewer Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week. According to the Labor Department, first-time filings for weekly jobless claims fell by 16,000 to 223,000. Filings have started to drop again after a surge in January due to the impact of the Omicron variant on the workforce.
American Airlines says hot meals are coming back to flights. The carrier says beginning February 16th, it will resume hot meal service in flights for first class that are 3.5 hours or longer. Travelers on flights that are between 2.5 and 3 hours will have 3.5 hours rather will have new menu options including salads, fruit, and cheese. You just got to check your watch as you're flying, right? Mm-hmm. How long is this flight? Do I get a meal? All right, let's talk about what folks will be talking about at the water cooler. Step aside, Super Bowl. The 18th annual Puppy Bowl is back this weekend. The epic showdown highlights 67 incredible shelters across the country. All of the dogs in the big game are adoptable. Sadly, the Kitten Bowl has been canceled.
Whoa, look at those dogs. We here on News 8 at Sunrise making our own picks for the Super Bowl 56. Share your thoughts, guys.
All right. Well, you see there, I've got the Rams by a field goal. I mentioned it earlier. I think it's going to be a close game. It's just hard to see the Rams losing on their home field. I think that's a big advantage.
Well, I am going for the underdogs. I think the Bengals are going to win. 28-17, I'll go with that.
Yeah, look, offense gets you to the Super Bowl. Defense wins the Super Bowl. Go Rams, 30-14. It's close at the beginning, but then they just pull away at the end of the game. There you go. There's our predictions. We'll be talking about it certainly on Monday.
Yes, we will.
We'll see how it plays out.
We'll see if I make it to the fourth quarter. That might be a bigger question. We've got a lot of sun outside right now. Let's enjoy it. This is twilight. Sun has not come up yet. Official time there, 7:14. Bus stop forecast, it's comfortable today. The pickup around 30, but we finished the day in the mid-40s. Increasing cloud coverage. Rain moves through. And winter returns this weekend. Bitter cold blast, especially by Sunday morning.
All right, James, thank you so much for watching News 8 at Sunrise.
Our next update coming up in 30 minutes. CBS Mornings is up next. Have a great day.